right, guys. Welcome to the Ready Set Blow podcast. A very special episode. I don't know what episode number it's going to be, but probably somewhere in the 150s, if I had to guess. 149, 150.
150, 149.
Something like that. This might actually be number 150.
Hell yeah, I'd be excited for that.
I know, right? And that's our special guest for this one, Mr. Zach Brazao. What's up, buddy?
Hey, everybody. Good to see you, America. So happy to be here. It's very fun. I'm retired now, so I got all the time in the world.
Yeah. Not retired from comedy, retired from the day job.
Retired from working. Yeah, I'm retired from the working world.
And doing full-time comedy now.
I'm doing full-time retirement now. I won't be so out of my britches to say comedy is not paying my bills. Savings are, and lack of responsibility is.
I mean, that's what I've been doing for the last 3 years,
right,
my friend. Welcome to the club.
Yeah. But I prefer to say, if I said full-time comedy, I would sound delusional, so I just say I'm full-time retired.
I just say I'm full-time unemployed.
Yeah, I'm not unemployed. I'm retired. This was premeditated. It was planned out.
So was mine, but it's make no mistake. I'm not retired. Right. I think retirement implies you're not coming back.
No. Because the way
maybe sabbatical.
Let me put it this way. Let me shout out Anthony O'Neill from the Dave Ramsey Podcast Network, okay? Mm-hmm. Preaching about finance.
Okay.
Or I think maybe this is Chris Hogan. Retirement is not an age. It's a number, right? So a lot of Americans die working. They never get to retire. And a lot of people have to go back, work part-time, be a docent, work at a theater, seat people, be an usher.
Be a fucking greeter at Walmart. That.
You can be retired and still have to go back eventually. So I'm just acting like I'm retired, and if I have to go back, I'm returning to the workforce. It's the second act.
I guess I'm retired.
Yeah, you're retired.
By that stretch. And you know what retired men wear a lot, dude? I saw this coming in when you were coming in. I came in and you were wearing a black robe, son.
Yeah.
That's right.
I held this conversation. I want to talk to Zach about this.
Yes.
What's with the robe, kid?
You know what it is. You know exactly what it is.
Are you in the buff under there? You got drawers on, or are you just full Monty?
Okay, I'll be honest with you, straight up. I haven't washed any of my clothes in like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah.
Like boxers. So I've been going commando for the past 2 weeks.
Oh, you're commando right now.
As you know.
We're only a millimeter from his cock.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I've never gone commando a day in my life.
I hate it. I would never do it.
I've never run out of drawers. I have a lot of pairs of underwear.
I will. Yeah, but when I came back, I just got back from New York, and
you went commando for Godfrey?
I went commando.
You couldn't wear underwear for Godfrey?
No, man, no. We haven't reached that part of the relationship yet. But dude, that New York, as much as I know, Randy.
So
sweaty town.
Oh, dude, I was sweaty. I'm just like, I couldn't wait to come back here and take a shower.
It would have looked like I sat in a puddle if I didn't wear underwear in New York City. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah?
It's just, I sweat like a pig, dude. My swass is for real.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? I sweat on the thighs. This is my pet peeve. Oh yeah, you ever like where your wallet is in your pocket and then the sweat building up there? I hate that. That's the worst part of summer, right there.
Wet spot.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah. But the robe, Chase, I got to tell you, the robe was a little short, Zach.
Was it?
It wasn't. I don't want to call it a kimono.
I've got a kimono in my collection. I got a robe.
I'm sure.
A robe for me. I got a kimono for guests.
Wait.
I got the kimono for the guests.
You know what? That's my next.
It was a little short, son. It was all black. It looked soft, and it was a little short. It looked like.
You know what? I don't like where it's going.
It looked like some sort of sexy thing a girl would wear for her husband, but Chase is wearing it.
You need a knee-length robe at least.
He's exaggerating.
No, son. There was some thigh in that bitch. Son.
No, I just didn't close. I didn't close it.
No.
You didn't close it right?
Yeah.
You hyped it up for me?
I hyped it up for you. I didn't close it right for you. And you caught me off guard. So,
yeah, I caught you off guard.
How off guard? It was a planned meeting.
It was 3:30. We were all supposed to be.
Yeah, but usually, he's great at usually, like, if he's about to come.
Usually on time.
Right.
Chase
No. Yeah, well, I'll get to that. We'll get to that later. Usually it's like, hey, if you know the time that people are going to be coming over, right? Usually prepared, right? And he usually calls me or texts me, hey, man, I'm here,
Yeah.
So he just, showed up and just,
that's true.
So I had to get my...
Old school. Knock on the window.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like that New York Queen savage as he is.
Throw down the keys.
Yeah.
So you were... When we was like, because we wanted to have you on here for a while.
Oh yeah,
for a minute, and you actually one of the first guys. Like when we started the podcast, we were like, we have to have this guy on, and then we just didn't get around to it. But now you're here,
episode 150, baby. Only took you 150 hours to get to me.
It's
Oh, more than that, dude. We talk a lot of this.
Oh yeah.
We get after it.
You are from where are you from?
I'm from the South Shore, Situate, Mass. Irish Riviera, small fishing village, about 26 miles south of the city.
Yeah, that well prepared, huh? Holy shit.
Oh yeah, well I used to give tours, and I used to give tours of Harvard University to tourists, and I would always tell people I was from a small fishing village.
Okay.
Because it's just hilarious. You should embellish and lie about everything. I feel like, you know what I mean. If you are entertaining people, like there's some people have an attitude like, oh, everything should be true. And I should just talk because I'm interesting. No, people aren't interesting. Everything should be a huge. You should say what is true and how can I expand this to the bounds of reality. You know,
I agree with that. So do I. For entertainment purposes, I like to try and be. I try to be a mostly honest guy in my life. At least true about what I'm saying and what I mean. But if I'm on stage talking, all that because I can lie about. I can lie about it all.
Yeah. I'm an honest man, but what am I going to say? I'm from a suburb. I'm from a fishing village. You know, one is a good way to describe yourself.
Yeah.
And the other is just like you have no pride. You know, if you're going to say you're from just a nondescript subarb.
Nondescript suburb.
You got to embellish. Yeah.
And you've always been here in Massachusetts.
I've been born and raised in Massachusetts. I've barely even been to Connecticut, you know, 2-3 times. Yeah, no, I've left the state.
Have you left the country?
I have left the country. I've been to Canada. I drove across it. Love Canada, the true north. Good. Shout out to my friends up there. Yeah, I drove across from Montreal to Vancouver.
That's cool.
It was amazing. Right after I graduated college.
That sounds like a great idea.
It was very fun. Yeah. Very fun. And that's going to be my entrance back into the working world. You know, because I'll have this resume gap. People are like, "What did you do?" I'll just say I drove across Canada because I have the memories. I can describe it. The timeline doesn't have to be accurate.
Also lying.
You know? Exactly. Just like, what have you been up to? I did this. You know, you don't need to know when. So I've been to Canada, I've been to Spain, I've been to Portugal, and I've been to Brazil.
You're Portuguese by nature.
Yes, by nature. Naughty by nature, Portuguese by...
you know what I mean.
Portuguese by choice.
By choice, yeah. How did a small town kid from South Shore, Massachusetts end up at a great university, at Harvard University?
Delusion, arrogance, and I have an unbelievable. Some kid said that to me once. Not true, America. It was, and I support affirmative action. You know, all these white jamokes who don't get in. You know, I was white, I got in. You know,
I actually don't.
I'm pro affirmative action. If you're white, be better. You know, I did it. You can do it too. It's not that hard to be white. We have the opportunity. We got to take it. You know, if you don't get that, that's on you. Okay. Right. White people, we have succeeded. I'm white. I did it. You don't. You're a bum, right? So
that's how you got into Harvard.
I feel that I could have done anything in the world because my mother told me that every day. You know, very devoted woman.
That's good.
I had a safe household, good parents.
Good parents, good.
Oh yeah,
still together.
Yeah, they are still together. Yeah, checking in.
Just checking in.
I'll call him today. Chase is checking in on a marriage. How's it going down there?
Well, it's interesting because I was talking to a friend of mine the other day about like how, you know, with the state of marriages today versus how it was many years ago, like my parents, your parents, Randy's parents, you know, I feel like, you know, people, you know, the idea of marriage obviously has changed over the course of time. Right. And I think more tougher people were back, you know, relationships like lasting longer when our parents were together. You know
my grandparents are going on 55 years. You know,
mine are at 67, dude.
Oh, that's wonderful. Good for them. I'm happy.
I really believe that they've fallen in and out of love about 40 times in that 60 years.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I feel like there were times when not that I know the relationship at all, and they seemed happy the entire time I was with them, but I mean, like all right, now they're retired. They're 88. You know,
Jesus.
My grandmother will like my grandfather will pass out by the pool like on vacation or whatever, and she will rub lotion on him to make sure he doesn't get a burn.
Really?
Yeah, and he'll wake up and give her a little slap on the ass, and then she'll go scurry away.
That's unbelievable.
At 88, I didn't see that when they were when my grandfather was 67 and still being a mechanic or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't see that. So I feel like it ebbs and flows, but good for them.
Yeah, that's legendary.
But to Chase's point, I think his point is that people from back then sort of toughed it out. They're like, all right, well, it's going to suck for a while, but it'll get better, as opposed to just like, oh, this relationship sucks now. Cut it loose. And
I think it's difficult. I don't know anything about marriage, but it seems difficult. And but children of two-parent households still to this day, I'm not judging anybody, do better than children of divorce.
Statistically, in fact,
they just came out with a study that was in the Times this week that children of divorce are less likely to go to college, and it's not due to finances. It just has something to do with the atmosphere in the household and how children deal with divorced. So I'm grateful my parents are married.
They're married, right? Yeah.
Oh, it makes a big difference, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. We have your parents are from Portugal.
No, my dad is from South Africa. His parents are from Portugal.
You're fucking African?
Yeah, I'm African American.
You son of a bitch! I know something. The reason why the way you are. You've been hiding this fucker.
No. I would not say I'm African, but 2010.
Certainly not black.
Certainly not. But 2010, the African First World Cup in Africa, South Africa, that was a moment of pride in my household. We were out there. Mm-hmm. We were supporting the African people. Absolutely.
You got African in you.
Yeah, my grandparents lived in South Africa for 20 years, and then they lived in America for a lot longer.
Were they with Mandela, or what? Were they?
Oh yeah, my dad loves Mandela, but I think he was 12 years old, and I don't dive too much into it, but let's just say apartheid was apartheid. I think everybody was kind of involved.
One way or the other.
Yeah, it didn't seem good, but
yeah. And then and obviously they parents immigrated here. Right.
Yeah, my dad came when he was like 12 or 13, and then with his parents, and they all live in America now.
And then so small town kid, goes to a great school, and then suddenly was like, hey, comedy's like this is something I want to do, or was it always in your mind? How did that come about?
Let me take you through my origin story, fellas. Okay,
I'm with it.
So one, I loved politics in many ways, probably because I love just speaking in front of people. So I was wicked involved in politics. I was class president, all that stuff. But I also ran like a sketch comedy show at this completely lawless cable TV studio. Mm-hmm. That was like fun. That probably got my juice flowing for comedy. And then you get to college and you realize that life is fairly meaningless. Most people involved in politics are criminals and not interested in public service.
Thanks.
If you want to be a lawyer, no, I don't really want to do that. I'm not going to be a doctor. I don't want to be a consultant, so I have nothing left. So I might as well just be a comedian, If I could point our listeners to Jean-Paul Sartre's book, Nausea, okay? The final 2 pages, he talks about just French existentialism being that life is absurd, you got to make your own meaning. And he talks about how there's nothing better than art. And I'm not one of these guys who's like comedy sacred. I just think it's fun, and I'm trying to have fun until I'm dead. Okay. That's all I'm trying to do is not be a criminal and have fun until I'm dead.
But he whipped out the French existential philosophers.
Yeah, I mean, you got to get
to say, hey, I'm just here for a good time.
Exactly. You got to add a little more something.
You get what you pay for the university.
Right. Exactly.
You got to use it. I don't use it.
Exactly.
I just want to let both of you guys know, me specifically as an experiencer. Versus,
that's right. He doesn't call himself a learner.
Okay, all right.
He's an experiencer.
Yeah, sure.
I'm an experiencer, and I just want to say, in front of 2 gentlemen of Ivy League profoundness, I just want to let you know.
This is where it gets you.
Yeah, this is where it gets you.
This is where the Ivy League
look at this place. We made it.
Chase is dead.
$500,000 of education between us and nothing to show for it.
And
0 unemployed motherfucking comics.
0 hours worked this week. That's what we have. A lot of people. But hey, what do you get when Ivy League people go to work? You get a financial crisis, right?
You get fucking robbed.
Right? You get a collapse. You get the Lehman Brothers. You get baloney. So me and Randy were taking one for the team. We're slowing it down.
Yeah, it's like stupid people not voting.
Exactly.
I'm not making it worse.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's kind of the analogy I'm going.
Slow it down. Slow it down.
Speaking of that, it's funny you just said that, Randy. I was watching. I would talk about briefly. David Letterman has a thing on Netflix where he just interviews like certain.
My next
people.
guest needs no introduction.
Okay, and he did Kanye recently. And for some reason, he was interviewing Kanye. They're talking about the close and whatever, the family, whatever. And then he just went into Trump right away. And then
why?
Dave. Well, this is what happened. It took a quick, really spontaneous turn to Trump. I don't know how it got there, but because Kanye brought it up. Kanye was like, he's like, well, with me, his people. He's like, well, people have a hard time understanding me. He's like, okay, with the Trump thing. So he actually
if Letterman brought it up, I would have thought very poorly of his interview skills.
Unnecessary.
Yeah. So my point is, so when he brought that up and they got into this whole thing, and Kanye's ranting and raving about the Trump thing, whatever, and then Dave was like, "Did you vote?" And then Kanye quickly goes, "I never voted in my life."
Yeah.
And then David Letterman goes, "Well, then you don't matter."
Right. Yeah. No, it doesn't matter. Yeah. If someone didn't vote, it does not matter what they say. It didn't count. It wasn't tabulated.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me what people who don't vote say.
Yeah. pretty much. But then I would say, we were talking about this in the podcast. So what I thought funny is, and even if you do vote, a lot of people feel like it doesn't count. Unfortunately,
my vote doesn't count. Anyone voting in the state of Massachusetts, it does not count.
Yeah, because the way it's system is,
my vote doesn't count.
But I'm saying, but they don't even give you a receipt telling you that was received.
Right.
You're like, yeah, I got a receipt at CVS. I can't get a receipt at the voting booth.
Right.
That's what I think is weird. It's like, so it's encouraging you to sort of dismiss any sort of participation in the process anyway.
Oh, I mean, everybody dismisses. I got involved in the 2018 gubernatorial election. I was with Seti Warren.
Can you explain to me real quickly what gubernatorial means?
Sure, for the experiencers out there, not the learners. Yes. Gubernatorial, imagine governor, just gubernatorial is like the adjective of governor. Are you familiar with the term avuncular?
Jesus.
An avuncular figure, that's someone who's uncle-like. Oh. Gubernatorial is the avuncular term for governor.
Oh, got it.
So gubernatorial campaign.
It's like the presidential race, the gubernatorial race.
Okay, so it's another name.
It's a better analogy.
Yeah.
I just wanted to throw avuncular out there for all the people.
He's just showing off over here.
Let them know. I'm not unemployed because I don't have
a man of the people. We'll translate.
Right. I just want to make sure I'm trying to learn here.
Yeah, gubernatorial. So I was involved in the conventional wisdom for politics is not only people who don't vote don't matter, but if you've never voted before, we're not even going to bother with you. We're just going to try and get out to vote the people who do vote.
Yeah.
We're not going to work on registering new people. We're not going to get new people to come. We're not going to call people who've never voted. We're going to call old people who voted every time and make sure they remember.
And it's always old white people.
Yeah,
a lot of the time.
It is. A lot of people talked about that.
Black community's kind of fucking themselves on that one a little bit.
Yeah, with Ayanna Pressley's election. That this district is majority minority, but it's still minority. Voting. It's still majority white voters. The electorate is majority white, even though the people, are majority minority.
I got it. Okay, all right.
Which is the real problem, Chase. That's like the lack of representation. Yeah. And that's Dave's point. Like Kanye, if you're gonna have a position if you have a political position, you better vote to back it up.
Yeah.
It's pretty much it.
I mean, at the very least, right?
It's like you're talking a lot of shit and you're not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
That
kind of thing.
At the very least, the least you can do is push the button yourself and then encourage others to push the same button you're pushing. But if you're not going to stand up and go do it yourself, it's like, what the fuck are you,
Right. I wonder if it
sounds like talking about, I work hard in the gym, but you never go to the gym.
You never go to the gym.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Yeah, kind of like when, what's his name said? She wasn't with you when you was shooting in the gym.
Drake and Future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're a big hip hop fan.
Where you at?
Common. He fucked. Yeah, Drake was.
No,
Common.
dude. I think that is Where You At by Future feat Drake.
Okay. I mean, Zach knows his hip hop.
Go to what?
I don't listen
hey,
to
you know me.
Drake.
I'm a sway guy. I'm a sway guy.
He asked about Sway.
Chase was at Sirius XM. I said, "Did you see Sway?" Sway for me is the king of Sirius. He's before Howard Stern. It's Sway. Sway is number one.
I'll give you
Stern. Sway is higher than Stern for me. I've never listened to Stern in my life. I have been reading his media tour for this new book, and it's wonderful. Yeah, very reflective.
I saw. Yeah, I've seen that on TV. Before.
Hey, send me the book if anyone's out there. Mail me a copy of Howard Stern's book.
I like how
55 Cherry Street, Apartment 2, Somerville, Mass. 02144.
Bold, giving his number out.
Yeah,
I love it.
Oh yeah.
Get my address. Send me a book.
Were you into hip hop a kid?
I was into jazz as a child.
Were you a weird child? Were you one of those?
I wouldn't say I was a weird child. Some people might.
One of the loners.
I wasn't a loner. I had a lot of friends. I in my mind was popular. Maybe I was a nut job, hallucinating the whole thing. But I did my own thing, and people generally enjoyed it. I wasn't twiddling my thumbs alone in high school. I was getting wild with the youth. I was out there. Yeah. I was staying busy. And
because you're a very settled guy. And for a young man, you're very old in spirit,
Oh, I don't care what other people think.
That's not what I'm asking you. I'm just saying, you said you were partying with the young kids or whatnot.
Right.
But that surprised me because you seem very relaxed now.
Oh, I am very relaxed. I'm not zenned out. I wish I was, but I'm a relaxed guy. I'm confident in who I am, and I don't want what most people want, and that doesn't really bother me, Yeah. I'm not interested in the rat race, but I grew up I still got 4 living grandparents.
So do I.
I got amazing blessings. Amazing blessings. 2 great grandmas, and I spent a lot of time with my maternal grandfather because he, like us, retired young at like 59. He just never went back to work one day. And so I spent a lot of time with him because both my parents worked full time. He's a huge jazz guy. So we were listening to jazz all the time.
Nice.
And, now it's veering more towards easy listening. But I am a big Frank Sinatra fan.
The best.
And then you get into high school and you gotta figure out hip hop. So
to try and get laid, you got to figure out.
Yeah, exactly. I'll say this: I've been a big Chance the Rapper fan. He brings me closer to the Lord, so I like Chance. I think people don't acknowledge that Chance is a Christian rapper. He's rapping. The book don't end with Malachi. All this stuff. How great is my God?
Yeah.
These people just listen to Jam at 94.5. They hear No Problem, and they think it's just
the
about
best thing in the world.
Yeah, whatever. So he's a Christian man. He brings me close to the Lord, along with Kirk Franklin. Shout out Kirk. I will say, if you follow Kirk on Instagram, kind of an odd-looking man, Kirk.
He's always had an interesting texture to him.
Yeah, and he's got a lot of eyebrow stuff.
Texture.
No, I see what you mean. It's a chisel. It's a weird chisel.
It is.
Kirk's got a strange thing to him.
I've never heard anyone describe someone's face with texture, but it makes perfect sense.
But for Kirk Franklin, it makes sense.
It makes sense.
You know what I'm saying?
It makes sense. Yeah, as soon as you said it, it clicked.
Okay.
So
weird texture to
Kirk,
his face.
you got to ease up on whatever you're doing. I think you seem a little too into the situation. But but then you get into hip hop,
Sure.
And you start with the class, atmosphere. White people, we always start with kind of the off the beaten path, sad stuff or whatever.
Really?
Oh yeah.
I know.
What do you mean off the beaten path?
I think
stuff?
Atmosphere is beloved by white people. He's rapping about like emotions and. In Minnesota.
Never heard of him.
You don't know Atmosphere?
No,
Atmosphere is not white, but I think white people like him.
Hip hop kind of stalled out for me somewhere around 2008. I stopped listening to new hip hop.
Yeah, so you're like just a G Unit guy all the time.
No, that was like the end. I was like, all right, let's get a little too.
Yeah, I appreciate hip hop. Keep doing your thing.
And a man of the Lord, it sounds like a religious man.
I wish I was a religious man, but I'm not a religious man. I don't live my life like a Christian, but I wish I did. But I would certainly be happy.
No, I'm saying, but you're a believer, right?
I wear some Jesus bling. I got the crucifix on. I got the Jesus bracelet.
You read the books? I saw you reading the good book the other day.
I read the good book. I read a book by Reverend Peter Gomes called The Good Book, How to Interpret the Bible with Love. He's a good man. Oh. He's dead now. Rest in peace, Peter.
RP.
Yeah, I wish I loved Jesus, but I don't. But I want to. That's definitely a goal of mine.
But do you believe in God? Do you believe in a deity?
I can't say that I don't.
Okay.
I don't know if
you were raised Catholic, though, I assume. Tough.
No, I was raised the same way anybody around here is raised, which is not religious.
Okay.
You get a gold chain. I guess not enough people rock the gold chain, but my Italians in Saugus know what I'm talking about. We rock the gold chain. We eat some spaghetti at a baptism or whatever.
Right.
But other than that, you're not like
really into it.
You're not into it,
Yeah.
But it was because my father's Portuguese, so you got to be Catholic, But my grandmother was actually excommunicated from the Catholic Church. Well, I'll get into it. So when I found that out, I did not get confirmed. I bailed hard. But I still go to church alone a lot, and then I got confirmed a few years later. But so, my grandmother, growing up in Central Square, Cambridge, Massachusetts, for the youth, I don't know if anyone's from around here, 02139. She was growing up on Kennard Street, Pleasant Street. And so she was a religious, pious woman. Okay, these were Irish Catholic people going to church all the time, cold water flats, sleeping outside because there's no air conditioning from March to November. Yeah. Pious people. There's sharing bedrooms with children and parents. Go to church. That's all you do. Work for the church. Work for the priests. Go work for the rectory. Do all this crazy stuff. And then she meets my grandfather, I think at the Rathskeller, probably in 1957. Yeah, it was an old bar down in Scully Square, which we lost to the redevelopment, reurbanization in the 1950s in the West End. So Scully Square is not there, but it's in the government center area. Mm-hmm. So they're down in Scully Square. And they met or whatever. They got a courtship going on, going to get married. Now, my grandfather's a Protestant. Okay? Shouldn't be a big deal. Sounds preposterous to be a big deal. But everybody flipped out. My grandmother had people enlisted to come to the wedding. No one showed up. She had no bridesmaids. Nobody came for her. Her own mother almost didn't come. She had to flee the neighborhood and move down to Bridgewater to stay with my grandfather's parents. He was down in Washington, D.C. in the military at the time, awaiting the wedding. Had to flee the community.
Just because it was a different religion?
Well, you know how accepting those Catholics are.
Yeah, exactly. It's bananas. It's absolutely banana land. They said if you marry a Protestant, we can't have you here anymore. You have to agree. I think they said you have to agree to never use birth control and raise your children in the church.
Oh, of course.
And they were like, this is crazy. We're gone.
Wow.
Never use birth control. I mean, they're just looking for soldiers, sounds like.
Yeah, for sure.
Build a Catholic army.
For sure. But I wish the Catholic Church was better than it was. But you cannot deny that at this point it's starting to just look like an international pedophile ring.
I mean, starting to just look like for decades now, centuries.
So I, for a long time, was a believer in the bad apple theory. At this point, it appears systemic to me.
Once for me, once the spotlight thing broke, I remember. I never liked the church because, of course, it just makes you feel shameful and bad for everything.
See, but it's not supposed to, you know.
But that's what the Catholic Church does. I mean, that's sort of how it's you're guilty and you need us to absolve you of your sin, and it's just a constant reminder of that. Like all your human emotions are flawed. So
I'm down with that a little bit, to be honest.
With that.
Of course,
you're gonna walk around the earth just ignoring how you're an asshole.
But that's the way we're built. We're built to like.
No, we're not. I don't believe that. We're not built to be.
Wait, you're saying we're not built to be sexual animals and who have devious thoughts at times?
No, that's
absolutely true.
That part, but not like the part of where like you walk around and just kind of ignore like the stuff that you're exuding to people. You have to fucking
you don't need the Catholic Church to teach morality.
No, I believe you. You don't need the Catholic Church for that.
That is insane.
I'm talking about like within yourself.
The Catholic Church has fallen very far. I believe at one point, I believe in theory. I mean, when you talk to priests, these people speak beautifully about the Lord, and it's confusing whether or not they even believe in God or eternal life. And like anytime I meet like Catholic people, like my favorite type of person in the world, the type of people I like, and you don't meet a ton of them, is people who believe in God and have premarital sex and feel fine about that. That's a normal person to me. I enjoy that. You could, and hey, you could burn in hell for it. I don't know. Sure. I don't think so, but you could, and I'm open to that possibility. And but so one book that got me was The Theology of Liberation. Okay, is written by a Colombian priest and was discussed at a bishops' conference in, I think, Barranquilla in like the 80s. Okay. And it's all about how the Catholic Church is an organization of social justice. Nobody gives more to the poor than the Catholic Church. And it's this idea that there's the preferential option for the poor, that the poor should be the most important people. We should be working to help the poor, that the existence of poverty on earth is a manifestation of humanity's sin, and we should work to eradicate that, and that's how we have the kingdom come. And I believe that, and that's radical teaching.
But that's not what the Catholic Church is. And that's not the hierarchical structure it's ruled under now. I mean, like, it straight up was a former Nazi youth who oversaw a pedophile ring.
Yes.
Getting raised to be the high priest Jesus himself, basically the divine God on earth.
Right.
And retired in shame to a fucking giant $80 million castle somewhere in the south of France. I mean, and they're supposed to care about and they give a lot to the poor.
Right.
It's like, all right, but they've been raping kids for centuries and stealing everyone's money, and they sit on a vast network of wealth and do nothing about this shit. It's fucking weird, dude.
No,
it's really weird.
The wealth doesn't bother me. The molestation has gotten to the point. I haven't gone back.
Overseas molestation. That's really what it was, dude.
Yeah.
It seems completely out of touch with what I can respect.
I agree with you 100%. When the Pittsburgh scandal broke, maybe a year ago, maybe in August, I have not been to Catholic Mass since, and I don't give money to the Catholic Church because a lot of that money, especially in the Archdiocese of Boston, is going to settlements to pay off victims of child sex abuse. And I'm kind of like, well, you need to knock it off.
It's direct enabling.
Let's stop that. Exactly. Let's cut it out. I also believe that. So in some ways, it's difficult for me to leave the Catholic Church because I wouldn't want to leave an organization because I felt some of their rules were hard to follow, specifically in regards
that's a different story than the rape rule.
Exactly. But I can't stay because of the molestation, and I think that ordaining women would solve molestation. There are like clear ways to solve it, and I think they're theologically wrong to not ordain women. I think that's an incorrect interpretation of the Bible that many people agree with. They used to ordain women. The first woman the first Christian in Europe, Lydia, was ordained by Paul. She was a woman. So let's let the ladies in.
Yeah. So you feel like it's interesting. You said like you feel like you can't leave though. Which is like interesting because I feel like because my parents are like very religious people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm not. But what I'm saying is like when they first started like started going to church a lot more and stuff like that, they tried different churches.
Right.
They were like, I like this in the beginning. Then they find something wrong with it. Then they try another church, and then they kept on going to different churches until they came to one that they really thought was the right one for them in their eyes. So my thing is for you, it's why don't you just do that? If you're just I don't, because I feel like that particular same thing is
start a cult, dude.
I could do that. There'd be good money in that, probably.
Tax-free.
I've been to Quaker meetings, which I kind of enjoy, but I just can't do it.
Quaker? Whoa, what fucking year is this?
Quaker. Oh, dude, the Quakers are sweet.
What are the Quakers again?
The Quakers.
These are people from Pennsylvania, right? Am I correct?
Yeah. Okay. They started in England, but the Oates guy is a Quaker. Yeah, you just sit silently and you wait to be moved by the Spirit of God. So whereas the Catholic Church is very hierarchical, there's no hierarchy in a Quaker. I mean, you roll up, there's no minister, no one leads the meeting, no one says it begun. Everybody sits quietly, and God willing, everyone stays silent the whole time. But around minute 50, some man has to start yapping his mouth on something he clearly workshopped to try and get a laugh. It's bananas. So then you just talk about it, and then at the end they're like, do we want to hold anybody in the light, somebody to pray for?
I was a big chip guy every time I
kind of like it's like a meditation thing with the stand-up set at the end.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
like a meditation session that breaks out into an open mic.
Yeah, it's like mindfulness with a couple of jokes.
So maybe you did get your first initial comedic taste.
It's the church. Well, I mean, there are many people who have.
A lot of characters in the church. A lot of characters in the church. The old lady, the creepy minister. There's a lot of characters in the church, so you get a lot of ideas from that.
But I never really went to church. My family wasn't church going, so I was never part of the community. I've been alone and stuff, but I'm not in the church.
Alone? What are you cruising for dick?
No, I mean you roll up alone. It's fun.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with it. But
I'm with you. I go to movies by myself.
Yeah,
sometimes.
Exactly.
I don't
movies
to church.
And church. You can sing, you could shake some hands, kiss some cheeks if it's a Spanish mass,
Oh, you go to the Pentecostal mass, they'll fucking whip out a snake.
Dude, I don't fool around with the Pentecostal. I don't. I'm not even going to go. I went to a Protestant service once. This is the other thing. I really feel at a Catholic mass, people are full of doubt. They don't know if they buy it. They're going through the motions. The ritual brings them closer to humanity. It brings them closer to believing in a deity. You go to a Protestant thing, people are talking about Jesus like he just left the line of Dunkin' Donuts. It's their buddy. It's creeping me out.
Dude, that is actually a really good point. That is something that I did appreciate about the Catholic. Everyone there was there because we had to be. No one wanted to fucking be there. And that was kind of a fun, that was it's like going to detention every week, with the whole fucking community. None of you want to see you all fucking kind of fuck off for an hour and you're like, I'm going to try and pick your fingernails and make jokes with your brother and sister and kind of waste time.
Right.
So you can get out of there. And you're right. And a lot of them weren't certain. They just did it that week, on Sunday for an hour and then just put it away for the rest of their life. But a born again Christian, they really think they're sitting right next to Jesus, dude. Like you said,
they need it to be real. It's creepy the way people talk about Jesus, And the Catholic Mass, it's structured. You got a reading, you got to read it. Yep. It goes in order. You got to read it. You got to make your homily about that. Protestant, hey, let's flip the book. I want to talk about this. Sharon said something crazy on Facebook. I'm going to bring up Eye of the Camel. I'm going to, tell her why I'm allowed to have this yacht, why I'm allowed to wear Yeezys. Yeah. And they just pick and choose whatever they want to talk. Their homily shapes the gospel. It's not like the gospel shapes the homily. So I was not impressed when I went.
Yeah.
So that's why you got to stick with the Catholics. I think I would like the Episcopalians. They do the Catholic Mass, but they're women and gay.
The Baptists, the blacks.
Black church, so I go to Southern Baptist Church.
Hey man,
that seems like right up your alley.
Well, you don't have to be technically black to be Baptist, but I'm just saying.
Let me say this.
I'm just talking myself.
Let me say this. I would happily go to a black church. I need to be invited. I understand a white man you've never seen before rolls up into the Baptist church. This is a situation. I don't want to make people uneasy. I would love to worship with you. You invite me, I'm coming.
I would love to do that, dude. I'd love to go to a black church.
I would be totally happy to go. I would be up for it totally. I'm not going to go alone. That seems a little voyeuristic, and it seems like it could alarm people.
Who is this narc and why is he in the church?
But I love it. I love
Is he praising the building?
I would love to praise the Lord. I like Chance the Rapper brought me close to the Lord. I got to shout out Marvin Sapp, Bishop Marvin Sapp. I would go to Marvin Sapp's church in Michigan, and then
what about the Creflo Dollars of the world? Would you fuck with those guys?
Creflo Dollar.
Like those televangelists, like the electric blue carpet, fucking stealing money from.
Oh, like a shuckster, like Joel Osteen and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I don't fool around.
Just to go and see, like, what the fuck is going on in here?
No, dude, because they're like, you got to pony up. Like this is not free.
You can't even walk in without.
Kind of. It's like it's the offering, and it's the kind of like.
Yeah.
Dude, if someone is like a single mother of 9 and she like has one shift a week at Kmart and she's putting in $200, I got to pony up, you know. So I'm not down with that.
She needs to stop fucking.
So is that why you like religion? Is it free service? Like it's a free something to go do?
No, I like religion because I have an ego and I don't know if God is real, but I need to be reminded I'm not God. That's why I go to church and try and bend the knee, praise the Lord.
That's interesting. Wow.
All I know is I'm not the center of the universe. I don't know what is the beginning. I don't know what is the end. I don't know who's the alpha or omega, but I know I'm not the center. So what am I going to do? You know, go on Instagram and like make a story? I mean, this is crazy.
I know you don't do any of it. You're a flip phone guy.
I'm a flipper guy.
And I got to be honest with you, Zach. I think it's cool, but it's also a little impractical for you. If a man on the move trying to move it up in the world, you need to be able to engage with people that want to engage with you. But
no, I agree. I have the internet. You know, I can go on it. I just can't go on it right now. I can't go on the internet right now. I can't make a ridiculous story that 19 people would watch, but I could say I'm an influencer. That's the thing is a lot of people when they retort to my flip phone style life is they bring up these exceptions. They say, "Oh, what if someone needs to get a hold of you? What if someone's?"
I don't go with the emergency. I'm just saying for your own.
No, not even emergency for a comedy thing. Like, what if someone's going to give you a spot on like a Wednesday and you don't know because you can't check the Facebook group? Any spot that is offered last minute is usually unpaid and is usually not worth doing. Yeah, someone's going to say right on the Facebook group, "Hey, can anyone get down to Swampscott? I got a 5-minute guest spot." It's like, dude, there's nobody here. I don't need to be doing this. So in order to get that 5 minutes in Swampscott, I'm going to lose 4 hours a day of browsing the internet, which is going to up my anxiety, up my depression, and make me envious of other people. Like,
Preach.
I just don't think it makes people more productive. The place I still have my iPhone, which is enabled to Wi-Fi at my place. You know, so I can update an Instagram. So ideally, I would get people to take a photo of me, they send it to me, and then I can update it the next time I'm at a desktop or something. I would do that if I could schedule it and do it once a day. You know, so I'm out on the web. But there's no one funny on the internet. There's no one smart on the internet. Twitter people are disgusting. Okay,
Twitter is the worst.
This is my message.
I don't do Twitter.
If you have a Twitter account, you're an idiot. Honestly, no one said anything.
It's the world's
good on
worst
Twitter.
group chat. It's just.
But it was so big,
It is so
man.
bad. People on Twitter are still talking about white people with dreadlocks. Okay, and this is not an interesting subject. It's like the Nickelback of like 2014. Okay, people are making tweets about stupid stuff. You know, it's ridiculous.
Right.
Everyone's an idiot on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get.
I think only YouTube comments are worse. Have you ever read a YouTube comment? They're pretty
That's my problem, dude. I'm a comment guy. I'm reading the news. I go right to the comments.
Oh no, you don't go to the comments on the news, man.
I read hundreds of comments.
No.
And I want to know what Jerry from West Topeka has to say about non-binary feature article in the New York Times. I want to see it.
Nah, you got to stop that.
But you know what I don't like though, especially is when when a news outlet will intersperse tweets in the middle of the article. It's like, no.
Right.
Like, give me the information. I don't want to see Twitter's reaction to what you're saying as it's going on.
Right.
Lazy people.
It's the worst. It's the most. It's not even news anymore.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's I don't know.
Lazy people.
If I just read a headline and I kind of get what's going on, I don't need to get
Not until you get the comments. You don't have the real story until you're in the comments.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite commenter? What's the archetype that you like? Is it Jerry the plumber with a donut in his hand? Old Joey bag of donuts.
I like a touch of anger, honestly. You know who I hate is trolls. Is people who think they're being cutesy and funny about like having a shtick in the comments. I find those people very sad.
Yeah.
You know, move on. You don't need to play character in the comments.
Yeah.
This is not, you know.
It depends on who you are. And if you're, let's say, like a person of some of a celebrity, most celebrities probably would just ignore it. They won't even respond. I've seen like people where they just actually would they actually would like show up at the trolls. Like,
that's
work
probably
job.
very upsetting.
Yeah, like Zab Judah did that recently. He was a boxer. You know Zab.
He showed it. Yeah, Zab Judah fuck somebody.
Yeah, he's a boxer.
You remember who Zab Judah is?
No, I don't know.
I thought you'd be a boxing fan.
I'm a bit of a boxing fan.
I
watched the Ruiz Anthony Joshua fight.
I was gonna say that's a kind of old school thing. You know, fucking counter. Yeah, because now everyone's UFC. I figured you'd be boxing.
I'm boxing. I'm a fan of the sweet science. My grandfather used to work for Marvin Hagler, so
that's cool.
I've seen the fights.
He was the first celebrity I ever saw in my life.
Marvelous
as
Marvin?
a kid. Yeah.
Down in Brockton or something?
Nah, I remember to this day. I was like probably like 6. I was down. My dad was like picking up my mom because my mom worked in next to the where the old hideout used to be, Faneuil Hall, Quincy Market, and he was playing at the hotel, that hotel right in there in that downtown area. And he came out, and my dad was like, "Hey, champ," and he just waved his hand, and I was like, "Oh shit!" And he's like, "Yeah, Marcus Hankel, boxer." I was like 6 or 7. He's like walking around Boston.
Yeah, legendary dude. Yeah. Legendary dude.
Yeah. Hearns Hagler fight's probably my favorite fight of all time.
The war.
Hearns, the way the whip he had with his hands, it was just amazing. It was like it was literally like cracking a bullwhip, just wham, and the thing would hit you. It's so sick.
It's insane.
And he would keep coming.
And he was beloved in Boston. If you go to Brothers Deli in Mattapan Square, there's a signed photo of Marvin Hagler right next to the Godfather of Boston comedy, Jonathan Gates. Check that out. That's how it's signed.
I'm glad you noticed that.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Zach's the localist of local guys. He knows all you can tell about that.
I went to Slade's once and I loved it. And another thing
I haven't gone yet.
is Jonathan said a beautiful prayer at the end. Beautiful.
What kind of prayer does he say?
He's just praying. No, he's just praying off the top for people who need the prayer. Yeah. And what I think makes a great prayer is he intersperses Heavenly Father, like every 9 or 10 words. Yeah. Thanks, Heavenly Father. I liked it. I dug it a lot. Yeah. I wish more people prayed at comedy shows. I think it would be good for the community.
What is your fascination with the religion?
It's just beautiful. It's beautiful. I think it's.
Were you like a religious studies major in college?
No, I took a couple courses, but nothing crazy. I love a good story, And sometimes when people explain things to you that you don't necessarily see, it blows your mind. Like when someone told me why the Jesus situation is so significant, that it's
what do you mean the Jesus situation?
The idea of God coming to earth as Christ, is because you have the God of the Old Testament who's angry, who's above everything. Mm-hmm. He has nothing to do with the people. He's vengeful. He's spiteful, and then he comes down to earth because God so loved his only son. John 3:16, whatever. Mm-hmm. He loves the people so much. He comes down. He completely inverts the whole thing. I like that. Manifesting as man is very interesting. And that changes everything about God.
It's interesting because the way you're talking the prayer like that, though. Sorry, Jason.
Yeah, I love prayer because it's putting your intentions out there. Okay. I love talking. I love speech. I would much rather someone just pray at me rather than someone I have look over and they're texting.
Yeah.
I don't mind someone praying.
What I was gonna say was that it's the way you're talking and then how your mannerisms is. I could actually see you as a preacher.
Oh, I would love to. I would love to.
Why don't you get ordained, big guy? You can do that shit.
Hey, I'm a debt-free guy first. The borrower is slave to the lender. That's from the Bible. Check it out, Leviticus, right? I'm not going to go into debt to go to divinity school. One.
Oh, no. Do you get that shit online you get ordained for fucking $40 on the internet?
Yeah, I'm sure there's a Phoenix online school for
I don't want to be a scam preacher.
Well,
I don't
need to Harvard study divinity school like a crazy person?
No, I'd like to go to the Union Theological Seminary. That's where people doing serious work in New York. In New York.
And what's what denomination? What's the story about that?
It's non-denominational. It might be technically Methodist, but Cornell West went there. A lot of serious thinkers who are thinking beyond their denomination.
That's not in my loop.
It's the real deal. The Union Theological Seminary is the real deal.
6 months at the police academy, you get out, you're fine?
No, it's 2 years, 3 years.
Oh, what does that run you?
Oh, it might run you $100,000. You can get all sorts of scholarships, fellowships, but I'm not paying for that,
Right.
I'm not paying for that. And then the other thing is I couldn't do it and not be a priest.
What do you mean you would have to be a priest?
I would have to because that's what I was born into. You need to pay respects to your culture, I think, and your tradition and your heritage. And so for me to not be a priest, it would be me saying that my own love of speaking, my own love of charisma supersedes my love of God, which may call for celibacy. I'm not going to be celibate.
Well, why wouldn't you just go to divinity school and then not become a preacher, just have that education?
Because I don't necessarily think that tradition is true,
What, the tradition of doing nothing after you go to divinity school?
Oh, I could do that.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, do nothing.
If I had great money, if I had big time dough, I would do it. You need to be 35 to be a deacon, a permanent deacon in the Catholic Church. I would be up for that,
Okay.
But they got to stop molesting children, and they need to ordain women, and then I'm in. They have me. I'll go as soon as you let women in and stop molesting. I'm ready to go.
You're ready to go.
I'm ready.
It's reasonable request.
I don't know why they won't take my calls. I just shout that into a voicemail, at 1-800 every day.
So like I said, man, I keep coming back to starting a cult for you, Zach.
I don't want to be a cult figure. I really don't.
I think your ego says otherwise.
Yeah, I don't think I would want to be worshipped. I wouldn't want someone to follow me around. That's like really not what I'm into.
You want like a lazy batch of followers?
Yeah. I don't want people that intimate. I want people like if I tap out for a few days, no one's really that worried where I am.
Lukewarm following.
They come and they go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. They come and they go.
Yeah, that's actually true. I see that. I see that about you a lot. When I see you around, like around the city, hopping around, you're not really with. I mean, you know a lot of people, but you don't have like an entourage.
I flow alone. I like to be a lone wolf.
Yeah, man.
So you said you were in like in high school politics and you were interested. And when did you were like, oh, these guys are criminals, I don't want any part of this? Like how soon after?
Let me tell you.
Or is there still something lingering around in your head, like, oh, maybe some local office, maybe some sort of selectman?
No. Oh, selectman I would do.
Some sort of local thing.
I used to film every episode of every selectman's meeting in Situate, Massachusetts for 3 years. I would absolutely do that.
Okay.
Because that's a service to your community. I mean, there is some ego going on there. I'm not going to name names, Situate BOS, but I see you. And so there's some ego there, but it's also service. And you just get to meet so many people and like get involved in so much minutia. You're deciding what kind of turf to use. Right. Like how much budget should you budget for salt for the roads? Like that's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. That's the kind of thing you'd really take interest in. I figured you did.
Oh, yeah. I would totally do that. But let me tell you, what happens in student council is exactly what happens in the federal government.
Of course, it's a popularity contest.
You roll in, it's a popularity contest, you win just because you speak, right? And then it's like, okay, what are my duties? And they're like, well, basically it's just to plan prom. It's like, okay, why was this elected? I don't want to plan prom. I just want to win an election, right? Yeah. And then it's like, okay, so now that you're student council, people in the administration, the principals know who you are. Do you do any kind of advocacy for the students? No, because they kind of like you. So now you see their side, and you don't want to ruffle any feathers because you enjoy the peaceful relationship and the positive relationship that you have. And that's just like in politics. Like the people who are in the position to make a change, they don't want to make a change because nobody wants to ruffle the feathers of Donald Trump, even though they're the only people who could, but they like him smiling at them and like signing a bill about small business.
Well, yeah, that's where I get like upset about.
So there's no change. No change. Social change has never happened. It's always happened in the streets before it happens in politics. Those people are reactionary. No one's hero is a politician. Very rarely. No one's like, damn, I really remember that speech. They're like, no, I remember live at the Sunset Strip. That was cool. Right. That's always cool.
Unless you're in politics or you are. Maybe someone would say that. Like, we were talking to like me and Randy had we recently had we spoke with the Mayor Christensen of Mayor Malden. We had him on, and
shout out Malden.
That's right.
Love that. My father used to own a bodega in Malden, so I'm familiar with the community.
Did you have a cat in the bodega?
No, I was a young bodega boy though, so maybe Jesus and Miro that had me on. Right. Hey guys,
but he was so basically what I was trying to say was like he was just saying like everything starts at the local level.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's where the focus should really be about. Because once you get to like the federal level, it's a fucking shit show.
It's a joke. Yeah. There's nothing going on over there.
Yeah. So I was just thinking like what like this. So ultimately, like, all this stuff that you know and don't want to know at the same time. Like, and how do you kind of like convert that into like stand up and like where do you want to see that go?
I just want to do as much stand up comedy as possible and be very funny. That's my goal, just to get funnier every day. And I just love live performance. There is nothing better than live performance. Right?
Oh yeah, is that going to be the bread and butter? You want to stay? Do you want to be like on the road?
Yeah, I would love to travel. You know what I mean?
What's the comedy dream for you?
The comedy dream is I get to. Let me throw out all my delusion to the world.
Dude, you got to put it out there.
Here's my comedy dream. One, be able to record a special, sell out clubs, be able to do a guest voice on F is for Family. Bill, call me up. I got a good accent. My grandmother, she knew your father. He's a dentist in Canton, so he's a Democrat too. So I would like to do that. I would just like to do fun stuff, like when you start, like I didn't know who Patrice O'Neal was when I was a kid, but you get into comedy and you love Patrice O'Neal, and then you watch old episodes of The Office and like occasionally Patrice O'Neal has 4 lines. Like that's sweet. That's cool,
Yeah.
I don't want to be in a makeup chair every day acting. That's foolishness. But if I could be the sea monster on a reboot of The Office, I would do that.
Yeah, you fine with that?
I would if I could be an occasional guest role actor. Oh, and then my other dream, okay? Let me shout this out to anyone who makes decisions on Hedgie Global or RTP International, is that the role that I am built for, okay, is...
Here we go.
Guest star on a Brazilian or Portuguese novella, okay, as either a foreign exchange student or the American cousin, okay, because I speak some Portuguese, I have an accent when I do it, I'm funny, I'm silly, I want to hack it up, hackiest, silliest jokes, then little spin-off movie, okay?
Are you going to be the funny friend? Because you obviously can't be some sort of lead.
No, I'm not going to be the lead.
Okay.
I'm going to be like, there's two possible...
No, because I mean, I assume it's a novella. They like, buff dudes and shit like that.
Yeah, okay, Randy, you got to call into question my sex appeal.
Yeah. He always questions. He's like, I don't see it.
Right. So,
but I mean, I'm saying, would you do it for the money? Would you get in the weight room for the money?
I would get in the weight room for it's good for your health. I should do that. So, but I don't want to be the lead. I want to be the goof.
I got you.
I want to be the and this is something a realization I had at some point in my life is I'm not the protagonist. I'm too odd. I don't really think or live normally. I'm not a Jerry Seinfeld. I'm more of like a Kramer, just a kook. I don't have the same views on African Americans as Kramer. I'll let everybody know. I would never speak that way.
Yeah.
But that's like more of who I am, a kook that people can take for like 11 minutes. I don't think that like people are like, let me follow Zach through the life.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe it.
And I think it's also I have the thing with like Randy sometimes like I just don't want people. I'm like, dude, no, you're fucking pretty smart guys, and I think a lot of people can actually like learn and through laughter through you guys. You know what I mean?
Hopefully.
So you know what I mean. So it's like I mean it's. I don't know. He doesn't.
I don't know.
That's what I see from the outside looking in.
Right.
I know, but also at the same time, I really think like really great people that are really like smart and know what who are like exceptional, like they're the most critical of themselves as well too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
but like you, dude, I just want to have a good time. Like
I just want to have fun.
Yeah, because I realize how, like you said, like you just said way earlier in the beginning of the podcast, that life is absurd.
Yeah.
We don't know why we're here. We don't know where we're going.
Right.
So you might as well enjoy it.
Yeah, I don't think comedy is meaningful.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm going to change anyone's life if I'm a goofball on a novella, but it would be fun. It would be wicked fun. So I want to do that.
Let's sketch it up, man.
Yeah.
Sketch it up. You can't do all those things, I think, without at the hands of your flip phone. You gotta step up the.
I was in Lisbon. A few months.
If you're traveling, if you're going overseas, dude, you need a fucking.
Yeah. So I was in Lisbon, and I was like, how could I find out who made? Because I feel, if someone is watching this, they hear that pitch, they're like, yeah, we're doing it, we're writing it up. Because why not? Portuguese novellas, they begin, they end. It's not like General Hospital. So you got like 1 year, you got to crank out 100 episodes. Why would you not put me on for 3 episodes? And who else is applying for that role? Who's going to audition against me? So it's like, how can I get that in front of people? And Lisbon felt wild enough, and it's small enough that I felt like maybe I could just show up at the office.
You see, that's kind of a cool thing I thought about too, man. If you could speak the language in another country, you could just go to another country and invent the market in anything you fucking want.
Yeah, it's hard.
Like that. Like you can be the American in Lisbon who does their you could be there like whatever version of who's the hot chick on Modern Family. You could be that version over there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, dude, I would love
barely speaks the language, but they're great on TV. Put her on TV.
Oh, dude, I would love it. That would be very fun. But I did some comedy in English when I was in Lisbon. There's just not a scene. You would get up maybe once a week, and it's just like it's not. You wouldn't get better.
But Portuguese or something.
It would be fun. But so much is cultural that it would be.
Yeah.
But also you have to be. America is the funniest country in the world. That is true. We are just funny. We're hilarious.
We're out of control.
Our people are hilarious. Parts of us it's real cold. We're always inside. We're screaming at people. We feel screwed all the time. Hilarious country, and we've been doing stand-up the longest, so our stand-up is the funniest. So if I was doing it like in Portugal, I wouldn't have to be as funny.
No.
I could speak for longer and have fewer laughs,
Coast.
and people would still be pumped,
That's a good point.
But it's like, I don't know.
But
I would love to do it.
You have to be hacky, though.
I wouldn't want to be hacky.
That's what I'm saying. You'd be like, oh, fuck it.
I want to be universal, but I don't want to be hacky,
Yeah, well, I think that's...
Dude, you know what you can? It's a great idea. You can do is write your own Portuguese novella in English here and produce the whole shit yourself and make yourself that character. Just like a fucking whole spoof type of thing.
That's a cool.
Yeah, that stuff's competitive. There are quite a few actually Portuguese American communities. They've got a TV channel in New Bedford.
Oh, there you go.
But it's like then I'm running around producing a television show running for like a local access show. It's
You
like,
really
what am I
want to
doing?
retire.
Yeah, it's like, this is crazy.
Like Zach is the only
I
person.
didn't know those were already a thing out there.
Oh yeah, dude. The community is deep, you know. But the problem is the community is old. There are very few people my age and my generation who like enjoy the culture. It's like a language people speak with their parents, with their grandparents, like something that
Beautiful
they'll
language.
hear. Yeah, great language, but not something that a ton of people are actively interested in.
I'm a big fan of the Portugal people.
Oh yeah,
women.
good
And
people,
those-
salt of the earth.
And the women are, and I do have to say, quite good on the eyes, soft on the
Yeah,
eyes.
beautiful
my friend.
women, yeah,
Curvy
beautiful
women,
country.
Very curvy.
What kind of ladies do you go for, Zach? What are we talking about? Let's get into the personal life of Zach.
Sure, I don't discuss my personal life, as you know.
We fucking discuss it here on the Race Up podcast.
I don't really. I date women for like 3 months at a time, and then and then I lull, and then I find another woman, and then it's good. If I could paint, with the broad strokes, I like a beautiful woman who's smarter than me and more religious than me. That's my goal. That's
more
my
religious
goal.
and smarter.
Yeah.
You can't be more intelligent and be more religious.
You can, brother.
Those two things can't go up in tandem.
You're gonna tell me you're smarter than St. Augustine? I don't know. You're smarter than Thomas Aquinas? I don't know.
Right. Martin Luther, perhaps.
So these are smart folks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, for sure.
yeah, and I don't need to date a funny woman. I'm like the people bring out my extroversion, like a big crowd brings out my desire to get wild. Right. But if I'm just chilling, I would rather just like speak.
But you would like. I'm sure
woman.
you would like for her. I mean, for me, I would like a woman at least with like a good knows humor, has a sense of humor
to enjoy my jokes. Certainly,
you just want to be laughed at. Yeah,
exactly.
And a chick will laugh at me is the chick I want to date.
I would like to be laughed at, and then I would like to quietly speak. That's what I want.
Laugh at me and shut the fuck up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's funny. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, it's weird as comedians. That topic of that particular topic of like women or dating is always like. With comics, like, I don't know. It's like I date, but I'm not, I'm not really committed.
Well, I'm a career-oriented person. You know what I mean? I will pursue comedy at every expense. I will give my life to it. Mm-hmm. And more people, my generation, are that way about whatever their thing is. So I'm very worried about the prospect of not being married because I would like to be married. I would like to be married. I would like to have children.
Kids
Absolutely.
Big family. What are we talking about here?
I'd like to have 2 children. Population replacement.
Okay.
Hey, you gotta have insurance, brother. I know what's gonna happen. Dude, my family, we die and we reside in the comfort of our children. My grandparents, they cared for each of their mothers for over a decade. We don't go to nursing homes, okay? I know where my parents will be when they're aging. They will be in my home. They'll be in my sister's home. They got 2 chances, right? So if I don't have children, where will I be? Walled up in a corner of a nursing home with, people feeding me applesauce.
Okay, so
I like applesauce.
I like
applesauce. Not a bad deal. Not a bad deal, in my opinion.
One, I mean, it might happen anyway, but 2, because, hospice is hospice.
Oh yeah, at the end you will die, probably in some institution. But I would, if I'm 91, I would like to be on a wingback chair in my children's den.
Sure. Yeah, you want to be with your family.
Exactly.
So that's probably the best reason I've heard anyone give for wanting to get married and have kids is selfishly that someone will care for me.
Oh yeah.
When I'm an invalid.
No, dude.
Other than that, every other reason I've heard is fucking horseshit.
I know my situation.
That's the only honest and best reason I've heard thus far for this.
Yeah, but again, Randy, it goes back to like.
And it's not to die alone because I want loved ones. No, I want someone to care for me so I don't shit on myself. I don't want
needs to wipe my
ass. Yeah. That is the best reason. Like, I don't want a stranger wiping my ass.
No.
Not that I want to die with someone I love. I don't want a stranger wiping my ass. That is the best reason I've ever heard in my life. I love it. Thank you, Zach. You cleared it up. I mean, that actually might give me pause to try and find a woman to have a child with.
Yeah.
Maybe a little pause, but not
right.
A
little
pause. Okay.
Yeah, like a break. Yeah, there's a little break in between the summer sessions of summer.
I know where I will be in 91, shitting in my daughter's den.
Yeah, dude. I mean, married men live longer. They have better lives. It's like it's good for you,
Who says they have better lives? That's
sociological research, dude. Deaths of despair of like single men in their 40s and 50s, because as men, we don't necessarily make friends the way that women do. We don't have the same network. This has been true historically. It may not be true for our generation, but we need women, right? We go from a mother to a wife, you know?
Yeah.
And that's so true to the point where if a man is over 65 and his wife dies, if he doesn't marry within the year, he will almost certainly die. Yes, because we need women for women are really the only people that we open up to emotionally. You know what I mean? I'm not going to talk about my feelings to a friend. Are you crazy? Only to a woman that I'm having sex with, you know? And like, I'm that way. And I don't think that's bad. I don't want to push back against that. It's like, no, I'm not sharing my feelings with a friend. Forget about it. You know, only with a woman, because feelings are shameful. You know, you shouldn't have them, and they shouldn't be publicly. They should be bottled up, and they should be discussed with a lover. That's it. You know,
so no therapist?
None of that? Hell no.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
Yeah.
I'm with that,
Yeah.
Zach.
Oh, Zach.
Just eat them.
I'm not a therapy guy. I'm not a therapy guy.
It's freeing. It means no woman controls me.
I mean, I guess, but you know, it's not for me. It's not for me. But if you need the help, get it. You know, stay safe. I want everybody to be safe out there.
I see. Do you see yourself here for a little while, Boston?
In Beantown?
Yeah.
I mean, I've retired. You know, and I've retired and left my job so that I can be as fluid as possible. If the need calls for me to move to New York, I will do it. You know, at this point, I've hit many milestones in Boston, and you can do those forever, or you can jump, as my man Steve Harvey says, who's a motivational figure to me. Sometimes you just need a jump.
Harvey, huh?
You just need a jump. You know,
gotta jump, and just gotta let the parachute's gonna open at some point.
Yeah, because
you're gonna fall,
it's very so. In some ways, I've always been a Boston elitist. I've referred to North Brooklyn as the least funny comedy city in America. Some of these people come through, they're horrible.
North where?
North Brooklyn.
Okay.
I want to make a distinction. Bushwick and Williamsburg is a disaster, okay?
Yeah.
I'm not going to cast aspersions at Gowanus or Red Hook or Park Slope, you know, but...
Park Slope has been old and white for forever.
Bushwick is a disaster, okay? These people are very unfunny. I don't know what's going on with them.
Tracy Morgan's from Bushwick.
Well, hey, Tracy...
No. Tracy Morgan's also 50 years
Bed-Stuy.
old.
I'm sorry, he's from Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
No, but he's also, I mean,
He's from Bed-Stuy.
Understand, these are neighborhoods I grew up near. Right next to, and they bear no resemblance to anything of the past. I know who's living there now. I haven't been to any of the comedy shows down there. So.
Oh, it was horrible. I was just there a couple of days ago. But and you can have success from Boston. You know, one, it's very difficult to be funny. Most people who do comedy aren't funny. Most people won't have success in anything, including in comedy. So the idea that you make it is almost none. Right, it's very exceptional, but people have made it to TV from Boston. Jai Young had the opportunity to do it.
Yeah.
You know, Dan Bulger. These people are savagely funny, and they're probably the only people who deserve it. You know, in a way. So I don't think the reason I'm not on TV is not because I don't live in New York, but there's something to be said for being around, rubbing elbows with the right people who have more going on, more opportunities. There's a lot of good stage time here, you know, but at some point you need to be around people who can make something happen. And very few people, if no one, can make anything happen in Boston, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. No.
I also just think it's fun to fucking change scenery.
Oh, it is fun. I need to move. You know, I came back from Lisbon.
You've been living here the whole
Lisbon.
fucking time.
Exactly.
All 25 years of your life, you've been basically living in Massachusetts and going on trips.
I've never lived further than a marathon's distance away from the hospital I was born in.
There you go. Then you got to get out.
So you got to move.
But
how old are you now?
25 and still alive.
Young
25, really?
Thank you, Jesus.
Oh,
yeah.
wow. You're a young man. You're a dude. I didn't know you were 25.
I've got youth. And God willing, I'll have longevity. I got an old family, so I'm hoping I'll
Really? How
I'll
old are we
kick
talking
it.
here?
I mean, my great-grandma lived to 96. The women live long. Men get screwed, so I'm probably screwed. I'll probably tap out at about 74.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. I'm hoping to make it 74, no cancer. That's my dream. That's my
cancer.
dream. Oh, dude, I hate the doctor's office.
Yeah.
Really? Yeah.
Oh,
Me
so
too.
you're not a man of science, though, huh?
dude. I'm a man of faith, not a man of science. No, I believe they're true, dude. But like, I went to the doctor. I had my physical in July, so I got to go again soon. I almost passed out just from like nerves.
From what?
Oh, I didn't eat anything or drink anything, and it was 98 degrees, and I walked there. So that was related, but also I just get so nervous because
What do you think's gonna happen?
who knows? I could be dying. I'm sitting.
You'd rather not know than be dying?
I'm sitting with you guys right here. I come do Ready, Set, Blow. I come in alive. I leave alive, right? You're not going to tell me I'm dying. I go to the doctor. I come in feeling good. I could leave with 6 months to live.
Right.
So I'm not interested in that, you know?
Okay.
That's a good point.
I don't want to have anything.
Right. That's like, I mean, it's a good point.
But I go, fellas, we got to take care of ourselves. Get your colonoscopy if you're 50, just take care of yourself. I go, but begrudgingly, and I hate it.
Right. I think it's weird. It's a balance because you want to catch things before
exactly.
they get worse. So you can science can prove if you do that you can you can fucking save your life. Yeah. Right. That's the bottom line. It's either you want to be here or you don't want to be here. You know what I mean? Now some people I feel like I'm like you. I'm like, oh shit, man. I don't know if I can go in here because I don't want to hear the bad news.
Oh, exactly.
So I think I don't know. It's
weird.
Weird.
Usually he gets pleasantly surprised and everything's just fine.
Oh yeah, I love tracking my blood pressure too. I'm doing real good with that right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why the blood pressure?
Oh, because my parents have high blood pressure, so they got one of those machines. So we do it at the house sometimes. A little hobby, little family activity. Check the BP.
Yeah.
And BP can be manipulated so dramatically that it feels like a contest.
So you can lower yours.
Oh yeah,
how can you get it?
Dude, when I came back from vacation, I came back from the old country, and I went to donate blood at 9:30 that morning. My BP was like 96 over like 64. It was crazy.
What's the
low.
average?
And it's usually like 130 over something, which is a touch high. If you're 120 over 80, you have great blood pressure. Once you creep over 140 on the top and over 100 on the bottom, it starts to become like a problem. But most Americans probably have like 160 over 110 or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. We're not a healthy country, so we're not doing good.
Right. That's funny. The better economically we do, the shittier we do health-wise. Doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, I mean, we have a horrible healthcare system that's incredibly expensive, and other countries do it way better. We eat so poorly and we're so sedentary. That's most of it.
That's interesting.
Yeah, there should be some sort of fat tax.
Hey, I don't necessarily want a fat tax. I do want subsidies for fruit and take away the subsidies. No, I do want chips should be illegal. Let me be dramatic here. You should not be allowed to buy Doritos.
There should be a certain general on the chips.
Doritos don't do anything good for your body. They should be illegal.
Sour cream and onion chips, man. That's for me.
Ban it.
A nice Italian sub.
Dude, I mean, heroin feels good. That also is,
right.
Just because it feels good doesn't mean it should be legal.
No, I don't think we have. I don't believe in self-control. I don't.
Clearly, which is odd.
I don't drink alcohol because I didn't have any self-control, so I can control the first sip, but I can't control anything after that.
So, when was the last time you had a cocktail?
October 9th, 2015, a long time ago.
And would you lose your pants and get crazy or something?
Oh yeah, I was a crazy drinker.
Really? I wouldn't have figured you for that.
Dude, I'm a crazy man.
See what he's fucking...
look at the way I act.
Seems cool.
You know what I mean? I'm a crazy man. I'm hyperbolic. I'm nuts. I drink. I'm going nuts.
I feel like it'd be fucking fun. I think it'd be fun.
Oh, I'm very fun, but sometimes you're too fun. It's really a situation, and you got to cool it.
Randy's like, no, fun is fun.
Yeah.
It's fun.
No,
I'll deal with whatever happens after. I'm gonna have a good time.
So I had to get out of the game. I also feel like I'll be dead in 50 years.
No weed, no nothing.
No, I don't smoke herb. I don't smoke grass.
Have you done any psychedelics?
I smoked salvia a few times when I was in high school and had some horrible times. So I'm never doing it again.
I'm talking about
no, but that's why I haven't. That's why I haven't.
Okay.
I got Michael Pollan's How to Change My Mind sitting on the nightside table. I think if I was met with a terminal illness, I would do mushrooms.
I think it's beneficial beforehand.
I'm not going to do it.
Okay. Just something to think about. I know that book's out. I know you're a reader.
Yeah. I'll read the book. I will think about it. I'm not going to do it.
We'll read the book and. All
right. So how do you get your thrills? Just the stage?
Yeah, the stage. That's enough of a thrill. You know what I mean? I live a great life. I do a lot of fun stuff. I've been to Winnipeg, Canada. I don't need drugs. How many people have been to Winnipeg?
Right. You don't need drugs. Yeah. Not true. I mean,
that's the truth.
Yeah. That's good. And the thing is, one thing I like about you is you admit to that, I think there's a lot of people that are just they try to they do all these good things and they actually do have a good life. And hold on, Randy, hold on, and that's good too, But some people just want to just fucking live in the moment and just not have to worry about in the future, and that's fine too as well,
But that's a whole movement now. That's the whole I feel like. I mean, it's a fact. Millennials are doing less drugs, having less sex.
Right. I'm pro sex. I think we should have more sex. But and I think it's a problem that people aren't having sex, but not doing drugs. I think is good.
No, I'm not advocating everyone doing drugs, but I'm just saying I feel like people are a little bit more uptight than they used to be.
Dude.
With regard to sort of experiencing everything that life has in it.
People are a disaster because they're looking at the phone, so they're not doing anything.
That's a good point.
This is the average person in the city of Boston's life, and this is a better life than the people in the suburbs who do even less. It's a holiday, maybe Bruins Game 7, go out with the boys, go out with the ladies to like some tavern in Southie, drink like 2 gin and tonics, put it on Instagram, pet a dog, go to bed, and then that's it. That sounds like hell. I had a ton of fun when I was drinking, but I did less stuff. I do more stuff because Norm Macdonald had a bit about it. Like, what is a bar? You're just sitting around an oak table for 4 hours. And I used to think that was great when I was drinking, was that you don't need anything, just alcohol and people,
company,
which is good, which I enjoy. It's good, but I wasn't gonna live life to the fullest if I was drinking. It was gonna keep me too happy, probably, and too nuts. Too nuts, and So you gotta move on.
I'm not a big drinker. I mean, I drink, but I'm not a huge drinker. Like, God forbid, if you open my fridge and if there's like a 6-pack of beer, it would never be there.
Right.
Because I've never. Well, I think it's also how I was conditioned to as a kid, because I've always like played sports, and I always like told as a kid, drugs are bad for you. Don't do it if you want to play good sport and all that. Like, fucking stupid.
You hang out with the police a lot too, right? The Chelsea cops, the Drake cops.
The only black guy not surrounded by cops, not getting his ass whipped.
I worked in public safety for like many years. So,
right. So you hang with the police, so you don't want them to catch you with a doobie in your mouth,
It is legal in the state now.
Yeah,
that's true. I voted no, obviously.
You voted no?
Hell yeah. Weed is boring, dude. Weed is so lame. Like,
how do you figure?
I think weed is for absolute squares, Squares, dude. There's nothing more boring than weed. People think the stupidest stuff is funny. I don't see a lot of creativity coming out of weed. I think it's foolishness. I think people want to just smoke a doobie and listen to Fish and just be idiots. It's dumb.
I love it.
Smoking weed? What are you, stupid? And I used to say in high school, there's only 2 types of people who had
But you voted no on someone's personal conviction.
Oh hell yeah, dude! There was nothing. There's gonna be nothing funnier to me than if weed lost. I would have laughed so hard if you couldn't smoke the doobies.
But why would you vote again? But you're okay with the idea of taking away someone's personal freedom?
Yes, I am. I am. I'm against personal freedom. I want to ban chips, dude. If prohibition was on the ballot, I would vote to make alcohol illegal. Like, I'm consistent in this view. Did
you not see how bad it was the last time we tried something like that?
It was good. Fewer people died from alcohol. Fewer drinks were consumed. Prohibition worked.
No, that's not true. More alcohol consumed during prohibition than any other period of time. That's not
Prohibition
true.
works.
Not true.
No, it does. Less alcohol is consumed.
These facts.
Less alcohol is consumed.
These are alternative facts.
No, we just have a different source. I've seen it. I've read the Wikipedia. Prohibition, I would bring it back. Absolutely. I would bring it back. Now, look.
Organized crime, that's all.
Here's what goes down in Prohibition.
Okay.
Fewer people drink. And my great-grandma, she was bottling beer for her father. Nobody else would let them drink except her mother. All the boys would come over. They'd tie a couple off. So here's what goes down in Prohibition. More people don't end up drinking at all. A few people go to a little raucous party and speakeasy, drink some homemade grain alcohol, and 109 people die in one night. But over the course of a year, fewer people die. That's where I'm at. There are more extreme events that are crazy.
But you're okay with taking away people's personal decision to make personal choices in their life.
So I fluctuate on this.
Because then by that logic, then you're right. Then your right to free speech should be gone. Because someone's going to take.
I don't want to get.
You start marching away people's rights, and it marches up to you can't say what I. So it would take away what you care about most. It's okay to take away what somebody else cares about until it comes to something you care about.
Right.
That's what you're saying. No. There's a hypocrisy in this, Zach. Come on, you must see this.
It's interesting. It's interesting, but I'm okay being a hypocrite. I am. I really am. I don't think you need to be consistent. This is an interesting point, Randy. I really do think it is. But the question for me, it's easier for me to see this through the lens of food, which I do think certain food should be illegal, and then bring it back to alcohol. Okay, so there's this idea that you're free to eat whatever you want. It's an act of freedom to choose Doritos. I don't think that is an act of freedom. I think that you're only choosing Doritos if you don't have all the information. If you don't have all the information of how bad it is for you. You don't have the information of how expensive it is. You don't have all the information, and you don't have freedom to make that choice. I believe a free person would never choose to eat Doritos.
Really?
Yes.
I think it's...
Chase is free, and he makes that choice all the fucking time.
I came here to be free.
And
from Africa.
Right.
So I know what... when you didn't have it and now you have it, and I still make those choices. This is what I believe. I think that if the information is in front of you, clear, and it's very transparent on what possible effects, pros and cons to if you do this thing, this is what's going to happen, and you still choose to want to do it, it's fine. Because You made that choice. You're an adult. You know what I mean?
I'm a cap and trade tax guy. I cut it down the middle. I say make it legal, just tax the shit out of it. You know? If you want Doritos cost $20, fat ass.
Right. So for me, I also feel fine saying I would ban weed because it's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I'm not in charge of the decision. If you just ask me, if you give me a choice, which way I'm going to go, I think best world, best society has no drugs, no alcohol. I think that would be a much more interesting place to live. You know, and I was reading the New York Times travel section. Apparently, in Dakar, Senegal, those people love going out, hanging out till like 4 a.m. But a lot of them don't drink alcohol. I think I might love Dakar. So if any Senegalese people are listening, you want to open up your couch, I'll come by, check out Dakar.
That's interesting. Yeah.
So I think it's just more interesting. I think it's.
Is it because it's if in fact we ever became a society of that, it's like. It's like the highest power of those people without any influence.
Oh yeah, everybody's acting at their best, I think. And you got to make diversions.
Everyone's stone cold sober.
No, and I don't think everybody should be sober.
Not to be trusted. If you have to have a little fucking sin on you. If everyone's walking around like a fucking monk, I can't. How can you trust anybody?
I don't know.
Maybe saying you got to get a little dirt. You can't trust them.
Yeah, I generally don't believe you can trust people. I gotta keep my mouth shut and don't really tell people anything more than they need to know.
Yeah,
but
I don't from the guy who just rocks a flip phone. He's always alone by himself.
Yeah, exactly.
It's congruent.
Right.
It all hangs together, Zach.
Right.
It might not make sense, but it does make sense together.
Right. Yeah, so basically I just think weed is lame, Gotcha. But if you want to drink up the hooch, go for it.
After we just smoked a fat joint.
It doesn't bother me. I got no problem with it.
No. So the last countercultural or counterintuitive thing I'd love to ask Zach, because I know this for a fact. You are anti-air conditioning.
Yes, thank you.
This has come up recently. This is something that we talked about this last summer during the heat wave, and I was so flabbergasted. I just walked away. I was like, I can't.
Yeah,
I couldn't wrap my head around it.
So let me try to package this thing.
Yeah,
you're anti-air conditioning.
Yes.
Please proceed. with this theory.
All right. So this may have derived from not enough to do at work during the summer, but I sent an email to my roommates entitled "Cooling Plan at 55 Cherry" about the air conditioning, okay? Because when you have roommates, you split in the utility bill. And I'm not going to use AC. Some other people are not going to use AC. I don't want to pay for other people to use AC when I think it's immoral and unnecessary. I view air conditioning as a luxury. Okay, I think it should be treated like medical marijuana. You need a license. You need to consult with a doctor. I understand the elderly need it, right? But I don't need it. Okay, I don't like air conditioning. I don't like the sound. I don't like the way the air feels. Why does it need to be 68 degrees when it's 82 outside? Just let it be 82. I'm walking to work. I was sweating. I was. You got to dress like a stripper to walk in, and then you got to dress like an Eskimo inside because it's freezing.
Right.
It's ridiculous. And I believe climate change is bad. And some of us should be held accountable, and we should take certain personal actions in order to lessen its effects. That being said, I eat meat and I fly, so I screw it over. And my air conditioning really does very little. But I love sweating like a pig,
you don't mind? Like,
I don't mind it.
What do you go with? The shower, the hot, cold rag? How do you?
I'll take a shower. I just am in my underwear exclusively in my home. I'm in nothing but briefs from like June 15th to September 15th. Every window in the house, I like red tidy whities. Okay. Every window in the house is completely open. Doesn't matter if it's raining. Doesn't matter what. All the windows open. It got real hot though, and we record our podcast in a room like this, so we had to get a fan, a box fan. Then I had to put ice in a bowl and use that as kind of like an impromptu air conditioner that did not work at all. That was very miserable. It's miserable. It's horrible, but we need a little misery in this country.
So just right now, this room is fairly not that warm, but it's warm. But you got the windows open. You got the natural breeze. So
I got a breeze.
You're fine.
I got a breeze. We got a cross breeze even in this room.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad. Well, thankfully we haven't had a hot day, but that's why I brought it up because I know one of the hot days are coming.
Dude, that's the thing. It's 74, and I'm sweating. We got 20 more degrees before we hit peak.
See, that's crazy. That's crazy that you're a sweaty guy like me and you still don't like AC.
Oh yeah, screw
I love
AC.
It. I want to be as cold as fuck as. I can always put on more clothes.
I think AC is weakness.
Oh, it certainly makes you weak. Without question.
It's for weak people.
And it's a luxury. Dude, even poor people in this country have AC. Like, like, AC is ubiquitous. Like,
but it's an American thing. They're not rocking it in Portugal. I was in Brazil in January in Sao Paulo. It's like 115 degrees on the pavement. Yeah. No AC.
Yeah.
Shower twice. Shower in the morning. Shower before
that's
bed.
what Thailand was like. Thailand was gross like that. But Colombia had AC. They had it going on in Colombia. They know what's up.
Probably all the drug usage mess with their brain. They need AC.
All the sweat from the fucking coconuts.
From where I'm from, like Eritrea, like you just got to deal with
Talk
that.
about a place that looks hot.
Eritrea, it does look hot.
Well, it's desert. Like it's a lot of desert. I mean, aside from
it's like one of those places you look at, and everyone always has their ring around their neck and under their arms. Like no matter what, the women and the men just have that sweat.
But pants people, right? Eritrean men aren't rocking around in shorts.
No, never.
Yeah, wear pants.
That is something crazy that I don't get. Pants that immigrant people do is the shorts and the heat.
Are ridiculous.
The pants and the heat.
It could be my African roots speaking, as my father was born in South Africa, but I don't wear shorts.
It's like Anthony Soprano. The Don doesn't wear short pants.
No, it's for fools.
Zach doesn't wear short pants.
Exactly.
That is a byproduct.
I've seen you in shorts though.
You probably have occasionally seen me in shorts.
Yeah.
I try not to. I mean, but it gets to July, and you're like, I got.
You got your own style too. Yeah. It works.
Right. It works.
I think it's a big byproduct of like where you culturally, like where your natural DNA is from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, obviously, people who grew up in more warmer climates, they're going to be more comfortable with being hot, and people who are cold, they're gonna like cold. I got
my mother's side of the genes on that thing because my father's from Dominican Republic, and I fucking hate the heat.
But I love just if I'm gonna get some linen pants. Like if I can just wear
Chase
flowing
had on
linen all
pants
the time,
last week.
dude.
Did you see those white linen pants?
No, were they sweet?
Oh, dude,
white linen pants.
It was Blair Underwood.
Let me show you a picture.
He's gonna pull it out. Yeah,
I love that, dude. I love
white
that
shoes.
look.
So he had like the Clark Griswold patent leather white shoes. It was phenomenal.
It's a ridiculous look that I love.
It was the one with the Chelsea Police Department. That picture. I don't know.
Oh, nice. I don't know that I noticed the pants. I got some white chinos. They're getting a lot of play.
Yeah, that's the white pants. That's the white linens.
Oh yeah, looking unbelievable, dude.
You see that? Yeah, man.
Police chief right there. Chief Abel.
That's right, man. Dude, there was one officer. She was from Latin persuasion. Whew.
You should call her.
You're right. I should have called her.
Yeah, no reason not to.
Give me your flip right now.
Call 411. Ask him for the non-emergency number for the Chelsea Police Department.
Do you know what? That was a time you could do that and you wouldn't be creepy. If he was a woman and there was no internet.
When?
Oh, dude, what are you talking about? Just fucking like the 80s. I remember in the 80s specifically. My dad, not my dad.
Probably my dad.
Not my dad. I think it was my uncle. Like, my dad's brothers is like younger than him. He's like he met a girl. She said like where she worked by conversation.
And he called
the job. Was like, hey, is there
how to work?
It was okay. She didn't fucking call the police and say this guy's harassing me. She's just
dude, I guess that is true.
That was like a thing.
Yeah, you did have to like
in the 50s. You ever seen Back to the Future when Artie McFly fucking called the diner?
There's some other stuff going on in the 50s.
Artie McFly.
Marty McFly.
Yeah. Like, hey, call Joanne. She works down the deli. Call her.
Dude, let me throw a theory at you. It would be so unusual to call a woman you barely know's workplace on the landline today that it would work better.
Oh, well, it would stand out.
It would be insane.
Yeah.
People are like, this is very bizarre, but I'm intrigued.
Well, it's like hitting on women in person now. It's like, what a novelty.
Oh, a lot of people my age find that to be sexual harassment. The Atlantic wrote an article about it. Yeah.
Dude,
the Atlantic wrote about my generation doesn't really have sex, less than our grandparents, and it's something like 34% of women my age, 18 to like 29, think that approaching a woman in public and hitting on her or asking her out is sexual harassment.
Wow, that's. I mean, I know that's like it might be like creepy, but I don't think sexual harassment.
That's what the people are saying.
Sexual harassment. Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you think the ladies of your generation get a little soft?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I worked with a lot of ladies. I wasn't asking anyone at the office.
Yeah.
Because
you don't want to lose your job.
Exactly. You want to be respectful. I just want to be respectful.
I don't care
Everybody's
about that.
on the apps, so they feel like.
Is that how you meet ladies?
No, I meet ladies in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't do well on the apps. My charisma doesn't translate.
I figure not.
Yeah.
Especially with T9 Word.
Right. Exactly. So it's because I still got the iPhone, but on Wi-Fi, so I can do it. So I'll swipe, get a few matches. I'll respond like 36 hours later. People are like, this guy's nuts.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus, I got a different look.
But I mean, like fucking sexual harassment. Obviously, I think like catcalling that might be. It's more pathetic than like I think outwardly harassing them. But more importantly, like if you're just approaching a woman, saying, "Hey, you start up a conversation. Hey, you seem great. I'd love to grab your number, take you to drink sometime." How is that sexual harassment?
I don't know. I don't want to speak for the ladies. I think some people are probably like, okay, if you approach me on the street, you don't know anything about me except that you think I'm beautiful. You shouldn't look at me and find me beautiful.
Well, let me
there's a group of people who feel that way.
I'm not saying that's not helpful to building a family.
No, I'm a build a family guy.
Well, let me reverse it.
I'm happy to make love. Anyone wants to make love on Saturday, go to church on Sunday. I'm up for it.
He's a love maker. He doesn't fuck.
I don't use that word. I make love. Make whoopee even.
Whoopee. I like that.
I prefer to make.
Well,
whoopee.
take it. I'll just simply reverse it and shoot on the other foot. And if we want to talk about people having equality or to be on the same thing, if a woman came up to you and was like, "Hey, I think you're handsome. I'd like to take you out. Let's get up sometime."
And you know what? The times it's happened, I've not been into it because it's almost usually a somewhat insane woman who does that. There's a certain vibe to the women who approach me, and I'm usually not loving it. That's just I can think of the instances, and I haven't called.
The women that you want to do that are the women that are doing that.
Exactly. I would love if every woman did that in America. If everyone did it, it'd be cool. But so please do that, ladies. I'm happy to field the requests.
I think it's. I personally think it's
flattering, but there's an intensity to it, that is.
Well, that's when there's an intensity to it. There's respect that comes into it. Lines need to be measured and know where to go
it's
over.
Basic human respect. I don't understand how that got lost. Just be decent when you approach people. If you're being polite and respectful, no one would consider it sexual harassment.
No, a lot of people would.
Well,
Even if you are being polite and you think you are being respectful, a lot of people don't want to have that conversation. Oh. And they believe that saying bye, Randy is such an oppressive act that it's very difficult to do that they don't want to be put in that position.
Yeah, but that's
where the people are at.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that's where the people are at.
I'm just saying if they don't want it, like you said, they don't want to have that conversation, but you can't go after the person who can't. The person who's coming up to you is not fucking Dionne Warwick. They're not a they're not a psychiatrist. They can't see.
Did you say Dionne Warwick?
Yeah,
the singer, Whitney Houston's godmother.
She's a psychiatrist. That's
the Psychic Network.
That's the Psychic Network. She was a psych. Yeah.
You remember the Psychic Network?
Oh no.
Dionne Warwick.
Do you know the way to San Jose? That's how I know Dionne.
Yeah, he knows the old school Dionne. But she after her years as a soul and gospel singer. She dabbled in shilling a psychic network on late night TV.
I respect it.
A 900 number. She was making bread. She was making some bread.
I respect it.
Exactly. She was. It was
sounds like she had a gambling.
Dionne Warwick Psychic Network.
I like that.
She was making money.
She had infomercials. It would be all night, and I'd watch them.
Oh yes, she was selling a lot of merch.
Yeah. No, I'll just simply say this, and I'll leave it like that. I think it's once you start penalizing people for not not knowing exactly what you can or cannot stand, it's still interesting, If you come in with just basically what Randy said, if you just come in with mutual respect for the person, and you're not being a creep, and you're not fucking causing a crime, you know what I mean?
Let me tell you about my generation. Okay, we talk about sex.
I like that he speaks for the generation.
Everybody talks about sex. They talk about, I like this. Put it in my butt. Prostate massage. I'm a lesbian. I'm pan. I'm this. I'm yada yada. Everybody has a million identities. Everybody talks about sex like crazy. Nobody has sex. So these people aren't having sex. So you've really just flipped it on them by offering sex. This is not what they're interested in. They want to discuss publicly.
They want to discuss sex. They don't actually have it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So people don't want to have sex.
Yeah.
So don't offer
but
it.
But you're all for it though.
I'm pro sex. I'm not I'm not one of these sex positivity guys.
What's the sex positivity guy?
See, sex people, they're like, sex is so great. I love sex. My parents should have discussed sex with me at breakfast. They're freaks.
No, I don't like that.
So
I like sex.
Me, I like some nice regular vanilla sex. I'm not vocal. I don't. I'm not into BDSM.
Mish.
I keep it.
Socks on.
I'll get a little crazy. I got a few more. I got a few more in the rotation, but I'm not getting nuts. I'm not one of these kooks. And I don't need to be kooky about it, It's just, but it's good to have sex. It's good for you. It's good for.
Obviously, very healthy for you.
It's good for the nation. It's good for the body. It's good for the mind.
All right, and you make more Catholics. Lord willing. All right, what do you got coming up, Zachary?
So this is coming out in July?
Yeah, this will be July.
All right, let me talk to the people here. Come see me, Nick's Comedy Stop, July 20th, Saturday night, 8 p.m. Go on Vendini, buy those full price tickets, 20 hogs. I'm headlining. You're going to love it. It's going to be amazing. Okay? Then check out my podcast, doing a little podcast on podcast promotion. Because all these New York people, they got great podcasts because they go on each other's podcasts, right? So let's get some Beantown podcasts called Series Finale. Say it 3 times. You can't forget it. Series Finale podcast. 3 comedians watch the final episode of a show they've never seen. It's hilarious. I promise you, it's the funniest thing in the world, okay? We got John Paul Rivera on there, Jack Burke. John Paul Rivera, I've always said, is the funniest person to walk Earth since Christ. Funniest person in the country. Check it out. You're going to love it. Series Finale. It's on the web. It's on the Android. Check it out.
Nice.
There you go.
That's my preach to the people.
Any Instagram, bro? Any social media?
Yeah, I'm on the gram. You want to check me out at I'm Nuts for Nuts. You can find me. Search my name, Zach Brazao. I'm out there. All
right.
We're
going to do. I'm at 6 Gear Kitchen, South Boston. If you're in the Boston area, come down and see me this Saturday.
Saturday? There's no date on this. When is this going to be released?
Oh, that's right. Oh, shit. This is right. All right.
You actually never mind. Artie McFly. Get the time machine.
I got him high. Look, you forgot what fucking day it was.
I got him high. Yeah, this is the future. This is the post of the future. If you actually seen this podcast, I fucking killed that show.
Yeah.
And so you guys don't need to know. It murdered it. Only August 2nd, I will be at Nick's Comedy Stop as well. August 2nd, Friday, 8 p.m. Get those tickets. Pay that full price, like Zach said, for his show. And if you're around in August or so around Boston, come to mine. Friday, 8 p.m., Nick's Comedy Stop. That's where I'll be at.
That's right. And I'll be back in Boston for that weekend. I'll be at Osaka Thursday, August 1st, and then I'll be opening up for the big headliner over here, the Big Cheese. Yeah. August 2nd, Nick's Comedy Stop. Come see Chase.
Yep.
That's it for this one. Zach.
Yeah, come out to Nick's Comedy Stop this summer. A lot of people headlining, doing a lot of time. I was just there this past weekend. Drew Dunn was over there. He was killing it. Packed out place. It's very fun. It's great stuff, and you're going to love it. See live comedy. It's much better than the web.
People underestimate live comedy. It's a great fucking time.
Just go. It's going to cost you $20 to get 3 drinks anyway. Just come see your show. Right. Get off of Netflix. People are stupid on Netflix.
Yeah.
We're going to read a tweet? Come on.
Get out. Stop smoking weed and go see a live show.
Come to Nick's Comedy and have sex. Do those 2 things.
I wish you all the best, man.
Thank you.
You're a good dude. You're a very interesting cat. You got a lot of things to say.
Yeah, thanks for letting me yap today, fellas. I was going mental.
I love it.
Flapping the jaws.
It was fun.
Follow me at Chase Abel on Instagram, at Chase Abel on Twitter. We do have a podcast Instagram at Ready Set Bowl Podcast, and also follow my man Randy Valerio at Randy Valerio also on Twitter, which he's never on.
I get retweeted at a lot.
Hell yeah!
But I don't ever use the fucking.
What do you got? Some great killer pinned tweets that are still going through the web.
One chick who was a porn actress.
Really?
An adult film star.
Wow.
Tagged me on something, and that's the only thing that keeps getting.
Why'd she tag you?
Because it was a clip. I sat in on one of Jeff's podcasts, and she was the guest.
Oh, you didn't sit in on a porn shooting?
No.
He would be open for that too.
I'm sure
that
would be a lot.
He's like
you're probably getting invites. I don't know.
Dude, I heard they had stunt cocks. Do you know this?
No, I haven't heard this. If they have to jump off it or something?
No, if the guy can't come or he came too fast,
they flip in a new one.
They'll have a stunt cock come in and just like do the pop shot just to finish.
That's crazy.
Can you believe this? Can you believe this?
I can't believe this. Honestly,
I can't believe it. We were good though on the promo. We could have left it at that, but
we had good promo and then we discussed pornography, which is
stunt cock. Sorry guys, it's all right. I like to end on a weird note.
Yeah,
but definitely, if you want to hear more about stunt cocks, definitely now follow Randy at Randy Valerio on Instagram.
I will be doing a whole
follow this guy, Zach Brazao. Awesome.
Thank you, Zach. You're a funny dude. Keep it going, bro.
Thank you. Go Sox.
All right, guys. That's it for this one. Peace.
Raise a Bro podcast, you fucking bitch.